Speaking up. When I was a kid, I couldn't speak well. I couldn't say my S's, my R's, my P's, or make other sounds in a way my family understood them. I had a lisp like this. And I had major issues with making my tongue, my lips, and my teeth coordinate. I couldn't read either. All the letters always reversed when I looked at them. No one could understand me, so I was put in a special school for kids who had serious problems. The doctor said I would likely be there all my life. I felt so terrible about myself all the time. My parents were superstars and multilingual, but whenever I spoke, nothing was right. At school, I got angry when other kids teased me. Sometimes I just hid and cried, but sometimes I hit them in the space. Oops, I hit them in the face and I spit at them. I was disciplined and kicked out of class many times, and my family was ashamed of their daughter. I wanted to disappear. I wished I were dead. The barriers felt immovable. What good was I if nobody could understand me? Something changed in my life around third grade. Since my mom was a singer, I listened to music all the time. I paid attention to song lyrics, and it turned out that I could repeat the words all from my memory. No, I still couldn't make the sounds right, but what I could repeat from memory better than anyone in my family. Once I could repeat what the words were, I started learning the meanings of the words, fancy words, words in other languages, words that impressed my teachers, even though I was deficient in the way that I said the words. To me, all the words were beautiful. Then I began learning the stories of others. Suddenly, I had more than my own embarrassing story to hold on to in life. I could imagine that I was one of the smartest women who everyone had adored, or that I was a maiden on a Russian plantation falling in love with a bad guy. I read stories about people who transcended their own problems. The more stories and the more words I could hold in my head, the more I could dream of a less sad life for myself. And that was essential. I had problems for sure. In addition to all my troubles in school, my mom was very sick when I was young and had to go to the hospital often. But I began to believe that my problems weren't so big that I couldn't at least try. I wanted to be part of the world, and people who are part of the world don't give up. I was forced to go to speech therapy every day until sixth grade. It was horrible, practicing over and over, making an S sound. I failed, I failed, and I failed. I couldn't do the one thing they asked. I wanted to spit in my teacher's face and hide in the bathroom stall. But as I was struggling, I tried hard to remember that I actually could do some things right. I could remember words, retell stories, and be a great listener. I relied on my strengths, and they kept me working through the things that I was awful at. Eventually, I learned to make a sound with my mouth that was an imperfect S sound, but nobody noticed I wasn't doing quite right anymore. It was good enough, and in their eyes, I was like everyone else. I began to understand that my strengths were stronger than my weaknesses ever would be. That knowledge gave me the courage I needed to open my mouth and share my ideas.